Good morning, live stream. Hello and welcome to Friday. It's been a busy week, or at least I've been busy this week. Making lots of videos, talking about doing glitch art. Maybe I'll go ahead and put this on Twitter today that I'm streaming because I think I figured something out and I'm kind of excited to show it to whoever's watching. So I want to see if I can get some viewers. Let's see. Okay. Hopefully that cough wasn't super loud. Yeah, well, let's see. This is Friday, and I do have some things to talk to my class about, but I don't think any of them are watching these streams, so, or at least I don't think anyone's watching right now. Maybe they're watching them later. I don't know. I'm really not hearing a lot from this class in general. I keep putting things out there and I'm not really getting things back. So I will just say though, I would love to see your projects. So let me know how they're going, even if they're not done yet. I'd love to hear how they're going. The glitch gallery project is due today. I'm not super worried if it comes in late, but if you need some more time with it. But I don't know if you've even started it, or I have no idea. So please let me know how things are going. I'm gonna be doing some reaching out today to you all individually to see what's going on with your projects and everything else. But I'll just put this out now. If you have an update for me, please update me. So today is a day where I'm going to try to show some datamoshing. Well, not I say techniques, but really just I'm going to try to do it. I did it yesterday, and I did it in the way that I normally do it, which is through command line utility, a Python script called TomatoPy. I say usually. I used to do it. Most of the broken GIF kind of things I've created, I did them using AviDemux, and AviDemux, I can no longer use AviDemux on my Mac because I upgraded the operating system. So I regret upgrading it. I didn't really think about that particular implication of upgrading it, and I regret it. But I don't think it's reasonable. It's not practical anyway to downgrade. So I'm looking for other methods to do datamoshing things. And I found this script called TomatoPy, and it works pretty well. And so I've been using it just on my computer. But like always, I'm trying to think of workflows that I can explain to students that they can try out without having to do other things. So to use TomatoPy in your command line, you have to kind of get into your command line, understand how scripts work, and I mean, those are good things to know, but that's just extra instruction or extra troubleshooting, and that can take time. So I was trying to figure out a way to do this totally through a web interface, and I think I've got it. So that's what I'm going to show you today. By the way, I hope my audio is syncing all right. It's hard to tell. Let me check something. Let me see. Yeah, it looks okay. I've been playing around with OBS quite a bit. Let me try changing the offset a little bit. If you're watching, let me know if the audio sync looks all right or not all right. I'm going to make a change here. I'm going to add an offset on it. See what happens. I mean, if it's distracting, just don't watch my face when I'm talking, I guess. So let's take a look at, let's see, what do I even have set up here? Yeah, okay, so I've been kind of kind of messing with some stuff. I've been putting videos together and posting them on YouTube. So I've been trying to make them like simple and short, and so in doing that, that takes a lot of planning and recording and editing. Just really an astonishing amount of time. Well, astonishing to me in terms of how long it takes. The pixel sorting one took me probably 10 hours total for an 11-minute video, which sounds ridiculous, but it really did. It's just I had to write some code to generate histograms that I thought would help explain what pixel sorting is doing. I had to figure that all out, and then I had to record a bunch and then edit a bunch, and I had problems with my audio syncing, so I had to fix all that. You know, it was a whole thing. I did a video last night about using a hex editor to make glitch art, and that one took like maybe 2 hours total. And that I figured out some faster processes. Also, there's a lot less to explain with hex editor glitching because you just open the file in a hex editor and mess around with it. Okay, speaking of messing around, let's try out some Datamoshing. And again, let me know if about the audio sync, or if it looks like I have one viewer. Great, hello. If you are, you know, feel free to say hi if you feel like it. So I'm going to go into I'm going to reset a few things where I was practicing and then kind of show it to you from the beginning. So let me just reset this runtime and kind of start from scratch basically in this Python notebook. And that's what I'm doing. I'm doing this in a Google Colab notebook. I usually share the notebook that I'm working on, but as you'll see, this is really not code. I'm not really writing code at all. I'm just using this as a place to run some code. And some code someone else wrote. So it's not something that is even that complicated. But I tried this yesterday, doing a different way of getting files in and out of Google. I was mounting my drive, which is nice. The advantage of running files that are mounted in your Google Drive is that they stay there permanently, or you know, until you need them, until you delete them. Whereas everything in a Colab notebook is temporary, and so it's a little bit of an extra step to have to upload, download things. So I was thinking it makes sense to do it in a drive, and I tried it in a drive, and it like the process worked, but the results weren't glitched or at least not glitched the right way. So I was trying to figure out why, and then I just in trying different things ended up, I guess, basically figuring it out, which is a much more simple approach. As it turns out, the simpler thing is sometimes the right thing, and that's what happened here. So let me kind of show this from the beginning. So this is a Python notebook, a Colab notebook, right? And nothing special about it other than that it's a Colab notebook. And what I'm doing is essentially using this as a place to run command line kind of things. And because it's just this one-off operation, there's not a whole lot to figure out or that you need to know about how command line things work or terminal shell commands. What I'm doing, whenever you type an exclamation point at the beginning of a line in a Colab notebook, that sends it to the environment that the notebook is running in. So it treats it like a shell command basically. And whenever we do, like in the other videos and things I've been doing, if you need to install something, you do that with the exclamation point in front. And so when you type pip, you're actually invoking a separate program called pip, and you're telling pip to do something like install pixel sort. So what's important here about this isn't the pip thing, it's the exclamation point, which is now sending that operation into the computer behind this computer, if that makes sense. And you can actually, this is kind of like a clumsy way of doing this, but you can treat this like a command line basically. You can do anything that you would normally do in a command line here. So you can do things like print your working directory and kind of see how this is organized. You can do ls to list all the files there. Probably lots of other things, and pretty much anything you would normally do. But in this case, we're just going to be running a specific Python script. Okay, so this really won't even take that long to demonstrate, but let's go. I'll do kind of the whole process. So I'll get a GIF, I will convert it to an AVI, and then I will upload it here, glitch it or Datamosh it with Tomato Pie, and see what it looks like. So it's a lot of like uploading, downloading, and that is kind of the drawback to things, to this whole approach I'm taking. But you know, it's nice in that it's all contained, right? And I could probably add some instructions into this notebook Otherwise, really, there's nothing special about the code here. Okay, enough talking. Let's get into something. Now, I have a slightly longer video I want to try this on, but which I have not yet, but I wanted to, first of all, just try a short example just to make sure that it works and kind of show the steps, and then this will give me a chance to show multiple versions of it. Okay, so let's find a GIF to break. Okay. I don't know who many of these people are here. I don't know, I find cartoons don't usually look as good as you think they will. I kind of want something a little longer. These are like 1 or 2 second loops. I kind of want something a little bit longer. Let's see. Okay. I like the mind-blowing kind of things. Okay, I don't want to spend forever picking one either. Let's see. Okay, let's do this one. This looks like it's from the TV show Blind Spot, I guess. I've never seen that show, so I don't know, but let's just get this. She's making an interesting expression. So we'll get the MP4 link for this one. You click on media to get the different versions of it, click on MP4, and then you can view it here in this page. And you actually still have to do a little bit more with it. You have to right click and then save it. So right click, save video as. So even though it says you're looking at a MP4, you're actually looking at like a web page that's hosting an MP4. So I'm just saving this on my computer. You can't see this window, I think, but I'm just saving it here. And now I'm going to go to good old cloudconvert.com and convert this. You can see I've already done a few just to try this whole process. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. Okay. And I'm just going to convert it to an AVI using all the default settings. And so this is for this process to work, the moshing process to work that I'm using. It has to be an AVI file. So hit convert. Let's wait for it to upload. And process. There's been some more action in the backyard with the hawks. I say hawks because there are at least 2. I heard them talking to each other. At least it sounded like. Sometimes it's hard to tell how many hawks you're listening to, but it was definitely 2 because they were yelling, and then I saw one of them fly to another side of the yard, and then I heard the yelling still from the original side, and then they were yelling some more. And I saw one land land on the ground just like right outside the window here, and then fly away, but it didn't have anything. And I believe there is a bunny nest right around where he landed. There's kind of some bushes there, so it's hard to tell. And I don't really want to dig around because I'm afraid of stepping on them. But I went out to check on what was going on, and I saw the mother bunny that I think has made a nest there, like on the other side of this room, and she was looking more freaked out than normal. You know how bunnies kind of always look freaked out, but she looks a little bit more freaked out than normal because I think that she was hearing the hawks and they were yelling, and she was like, hawks. So she didn't even really notice me until I was pretty close to her, and I was like, dude, go hide because there's some hawks, and she took off. And so I hope she's all right, I guess, but you know, ultimately it's circle of life. And as long as the hawks don't leave parts of the bunny around the yard, I'm okay with it, which they have been. I mean, I found a pile of fur and some other things. But that was a few days ago, so I don't think it's the bunny family that I've been monitoring. I think they just had something else with them. Anyway, sorry, backyard drama. So let's see how this works. Yeah, 60 kilobytes. Wow, that's really small. Okay, so I'm going to save this AVI file. And what I'm going to do here in this Python notebook, I'm going to do a few things. I reset this runtime so I could show you this whole process. I'm going to be using, actually maybe I'll just put the link in here so it's easy to see, but I'm going to be using the tomato pie script. This is it. It's in GitHub. It's been posted here by It's Casper. You can just download it, or I mean, you can it's just a single script file. There's nothing else, so you can just like look at it this way and then Control S to save it. And nothing really fancy about how to get it. It's just a plain text file. It's a Python script. So let me go back to Fresh Tomato and I'll upload those two things, the tomato.py file that I just got from GitHub and the blindspot.avi file, not the MP4 file that I originally got from giphy.com, but the AVI file that I got from cloudconvert.com. So now I've got these two files here, and just again to kind of look at the command line way of accessing things. If you type an exclamation point, now I'm looking at this as this. I can now type a shell command, and ls is the command for listing the contents of a directory, and you can see here that blindspot.avi and tomato.py are now here, and I can address them here. Now normally, like when you reference a file in code here, you would have to type the full path to it, which would be like content/tomato.py. But that's because that's how it gets to it from the notebook. If we're already in the shell, we don't need that. We can just reference these by name. So let's see how this looks. Now there are lots of options in TomatoPy, and you can learn about them by reading the GitHub documentation, or I wonder, you might even be able to just type help. Let's see. TomatoPy. Yeah, look, you can even autocomplete. Like you hit tab and it autocompletes to tomato.py. This is great. And then let's see, .h might. Yeah, okay, good. So .h gives you the explanation of how to use the script, and these are the options that you have. But what I've found out in experimenting is if you don't supply any options, it still does do some glitching. I think it automatically just drops iframes regardless of what else you tell it to do. And that's not always what I want, really, but it's okay, I guess, right? I mean, we're making glitch art. So let's change this here. And so just following the directions, so it says -I, and then where it says all caps input, everything all caps, that's where you're supposed to put something. And so if you want to specify input, you do -I and then the name of the file that you want to process. These other ones are similar, like if you want to have it specify a different mode, you'd say -M and then you would put one of these words there. But we'll just do the very basics first and say tomato.py-I, and what was it, blindspot.avi. I love this autocomplete here. This is great. And so if this worked, this should just kind of report what it does. Okay, I mean, it worked. So it's very fast, actually. And it said this is what it calls void mode, which is the default mode in this, and that's just the name that Casper came up with for it. And it tells me here that this is 14 frames. That's what that number means. So let's see, and if I open it on the left, I do now have a new file called blindspotvoid.avi. One thing I've noticed about TomatoPy that I like is that it tries to name things, name the file that it generates based on the parameters that you give it. And that's a good way to help you avoid overwriting other files. So let's take a look at this file. Now to actually look at it, I'm going to need to download it. So I was hoping to figure out a way to display an AVI file inline in the notebook, but it might not be possible, and I haven't figured it out yet. I mean, the problem is usually that the problem I suspect is that like normally when you look at a video through a web page, it's in a web encoded format like MP4 or OGG or what's the other ones? I mean, there's several, but AVI is not usually one of those, and so I think I would have to convert it in the thing, like in the notebook, before displaying it anyway, and that might impact the quality of the glitching too. So I have it downloaded, and I will show it to you. Oh, nice. Okay, it worked. Okay, great. Let me see if I can show it to you. Let me see. I'm gonna have to add the window capture here in OBS. Let me just grab that. Okay, there it is. Now this is going to be, it's very this is a very short reaction GIF, but take a look at it. So it certainly looks different, right? It's not hugely effective. I mean, maybe if it was on a loop, that might be more interesting. And you certainly can. Will this loop automatically? Let's see. Oh, nice. Oh, great. Yeah, I like that a lot. So yeah, so you can see that it's not amazing yet, but it this proves that the process works. Like this lets me see that yes, indeed, I can go I can go both ways. So let me just I'll pause this and let it. So the other thing you can do, by the way, with Datamoshing is, I mean, you can make a broken GIF like that, or you can also just create interesting single frames like this. And so like this frame, I kind of like the way this frame looks by itself. So if you like a particular frame, probably the best way to capture that frame and then share it would be just to screenshot it, like to pause the player at the moment you're interested in. Take a screenshot and then crop it the way you want, and share it. But let's try some other glitches and some options with tomato pie and see what else we can do. Let me see. So I will go ahead and hide that for now, but I'll bring it back when I have something to show you. So let's see. So we still got blind spot AVI. I don't need to re-upload that, but let's try some other options. And you can see the other, again, the options. Maybe I'll run it down here with .h, so I can kind of, that is kind of nice, by the way. Like you can, the way that you can see, like you can run a cell and then see the result and then not keep it there on screen. So if I run this down here with .h, then I'll just kind of have this documentation explaining how to do it, and I can just scroll back down and look at it again if I want to. But here's the cell that I'll use to run this code again, but with some variations. So let's add some different options. Let's do, so remember there's I think it said 14 frames originally, so let's try the bloom mode. I always enjoy that. Well, not always, but I often enjoy the bloom mode. So let's try to bloom, and then this explanation I find kind of confusing. Count frames and posit frames, like those words don't suggest much to me. So let me go back to the GitHub page, because I feel like I got this backwards the other day when I was trying it out. So in this example, he's saying, if we set it on bloom, C50 in 100, that's 50. Okay, so that's 50 repetitions of the 100th frame. So let's say I want to do bloom mode. So I do -m bloom, and then I'm going to duplicate, let's say 20 times frame number 10. Okay, see what happens. So now we're up to 34 frames, so that suggests that it probably worked. It added the number of frames that I expected it to, which is 20, and it made a new file here called blindspot bloom c20in10.avi. So now let's download it and see what it looks like. And here it is in the view, and you can see it. Well, it's definitely blooming. Not my favorite glitch in this case. It's too, I don't know, it just sort of slides off to the side. It's not super interesting as a glitch. But it's okay. I mean, it's not terrible either. I do kind of like it. And there's certainly moments within it, like right at the end there. I do really like the way that it's multiplied her face that way across the side there. I do like, that's interesting looking. Yeah, but the motion to me is not as interesting as I'd hoped, but that's all right. Let's try some other things and see what else we can do. Again, I really kind of wish it wouldn't drop the index frame. So maybe let's see if there's an option related to that, because there is. Yeah, so there's, what does FF mean? Like, I don't know if this means ignore. I don't know what this means. Let me see if I can try. Let me try this and see if it makes any difference. That's how we learn things, right? So let's say I'm going to go back to the original, just importing it, and I'm going to say FF, and it says, like, what I don't know if by ignore, I don't know if he means like don't glitch it, or if he means like delete it. So, and it says 0 or 1. So does that mean? Wait, okay, so 1, okay, I think it's saying 0 or 1. That's probably means true or false, right? So like ff0 would be don't ignore first frame. FF1 would be yes, ignore first frame. Okay, well we can try, but let's also, I'm gonna take a look at the code and see if that makes sense. Maybe that, no, I don't need to look at it that way. Ah, too far. Let's see where it's using that setting. So it's adding this argument here, and it goes to first frame. There we go. That's explaining what we just read about in the documentation, but let's see what it actually does with that. I don't really understand what it's doing there. Okay, let's just try it. Let's say, since I guess 1 was what it was set at before, if we do 0, that should be something different, maybe. All right, so it doesn't, I wish it would actually print in here the name of the file it created. I think it just remade this blind spot void.avi. Let's see, I'll just download it. Yeah, it looks, well, I mean, it looks different. I just realized I was like displaying that loop the whole time I was talking for a minute there. I'll make that smaller. Yeah, but it looks different, but it's still, I mean, still definitely doing something, which is what I didn't think it would. I didn't think it would do anything. And it looks like it can only accept either 0 or 1. I don't think it will. Yeah, because right, so this is just saying this condition is just if first frame. So that condition check would fail if it was 0, so it would just not do whatever this is. I don't really understand what's happening here, but it's either doing it or not doing it based on that. So I don't know. All right, so let's try this with a longer video. So this is a video that keeps popping up in my YouTube recommendations, and I don't know why. This is a Microsoft training video from 1992, and it is definitely peak 1992 in terms of aesthetics, complete with a introduction by Michael Jordan. And it's not clear why Michael Jordan is doing this. He does not have a lot of, I mean, okay, I'll be honest, I haven't watched the whole video, so maybe he does show up later, but it seems like he is there just for this introduction and then that's it. But he's here at the beginning talking about the importance of customer service. So let's see, I think audio might come through. Yeah, so
hi,
aesthetically,
I've got something very new and special that I really like
I said,
for you
peak
to
90s.
see. It's a video about satisfying the customer called
And he
Doing
talks for about a
Whatever It
minute,
Takes.
and like I said, that's about
Now
all
you're
I've watched.
probably wondering, what does Michael
But I love
Jordan
this
know about
transition at the
satisfying?
end of his speech,
Do whatever it takes.
where it's just so, I mean, like, just this graphic by itself is just amazing. Very Saved by the Bell, you know, very much every cliche of early 90s graphic design. You know, the squiggles and the weird sparkles and the, like, nothing's in line, everything's like crazy and off kilter, and I don't know. The video itself is pretty, I don't know. I mean, I've seen other training videos for some, maybe that's why YouTube keeps recommending this to me. This one tries to be, the gimmick here is that we are watching the filming of the training video. So we're watching behind the scenes as the director of this training video is trying to figure out the best way to convey great customer service. And I haven't watched the whole thing, so I don't know. Oh, there's another person talking at the end there. I wonder who that is. Okay, well, so anyway, what I did is I downloaded this video from YouTube. To do that, I use a script called YouTube DL, by the way, and it's really convenient. I like, you know, I use it all the time. You can get it on a Mac if you use Homebrew in your terminal. That's how I often used it, but it's easy. You can just install it directly on Linux where I am right now. And so I just downloaded this video. I chopped out the first minute or so And I think anyway, let's see, I had to do it a few different versions. So let me see if I ended up with a good enough one. Yeah, I kept, for some reason, I tried to edit out just the Michael Jordan speech, and for some reason it wouldn't start. Like, I can only get after the 5th second or so. So that intro graphic just doesn't ever show up. And I don't know why. But
Hi, I've got something
this
very...
is, no, I don't really like that one. You know, I'm just going to upload it back. I'm going to do it in here. I think this is, yeah, I think this one, intro to MP4, I think this ended up being a pretty good looking copy. And I don't know where I saved it. So I'm going to save it again from Cloud Convert and see how that looks. Basically, I want to make sure I have a decent version of this video.
It's a video about satisfying the customer called Doing Whatever It Takes.
And as you see,
now you'll probably wonder,
looks all right,
what does Michael Jordan know about
sounds all right too.
satisfying?
I don't have it set up so I can actually hear Michael talking. So
when I step onto the basketball court, those 18,000 screaming people aren't just
so we'll pause that. Good enough. So I kind of want to see what will happen if I run a longer video like this, a minute and a half, minute 15 through it. Oh, good, I got that section. Great. I want to make sure I got that transition. So I wanted to see what happens if I run that through Tomato Pi and, you know, see what I can do with it, basically. It's kind of low resolution, so that might be a factor. That might impact the quality of what I can produce with it, but we'll try. So there we go. Intro.avi is the name of this file, and I'm going to rename it so it doesn't have the parentheses 1 in it, because that just sort of adds something to remember, and I don't need that. There we go. Let me run this on it, see what happens. Just basic, yeah, with no other settings, just run void mode on it, see what happens. Okay, that was very fast. I'm impressed with how fast this processes on the Colab notebook. I guess that shouldn't be too surprising. But okay, so I made this file called introvoid.avi, so let's see how that looks. And go ahead and, yeah, so, oh, where did I put that? Save it. Yeah, no idea. I'm seeing this for the first time, so I have no idea
Doing whatever
going
it
to
takes.
happen here.
Now you're probably wondering, what does Michael Jordan know about satisfying the customer?
Or
Well, let me
maybe
tell
nothing
you,
happens.
when I step onto the basketball court,
Okay, this is definitely the glitch video. Oh wait, something's happening.
People aren't just fans.
Oh, look at his
They're
eye.
my
Something happened to his
customers.
eye.
They want to see more than just a basketball.
And it kind of
game.
fixed itself.
They
Okay,
expect to see
interesting.
a show. No matter what kind of
Let's
day
see.
I've
Let's just
had.
stick with it.
When I put on that uniform,
I don't know how the audio sounds.
my
Maybe the audio is
customers
glitching
expect
too.
behind
Let's skip ahead a bit.
needs to satisfy your customers by.
Yeah, I mean, definitely like a lower quality. Like there's some pixel sticking basically, but sometimes transitions get pretty interesting. No, that one didn't. Okay, all right. So just a very basic processing there. So that gives me some hope that processing it with some more of the options in Tomato will make it look a bit more interesting. Let me see. I'm going to make this window smaller here so you can see what I'm doing a bit better, but still see whatever I end up producing. So, all right, great. Let's try it. Let's just try jiggle. I don't know what. So we'll do m jiggle. I think jiggle just sort of swaps the order of some frames around, so it'll be like back and forth. Maybe I should listen to that to see what that sounds like, because this might be kind of scary sounding. So we'll just run it with the jiggle option. -m jiggle. And there it is, intro jiggle.avi. And I'm going to put the headphones on so I can listen to this.
And special that I'd really like for you to see. It's a video about satisfying the customer called Doing Whatever It Takes. Now you're probably wondering, what does Michael Jordan know about satisfying the customer?
Okay.
Well, let me tell you, when I step onto the basketball court, those 18,000 screaming people aren't just fans. They are customers.
Oh, wow.
They want to see more than just a basketball game. They expect to see a show. No matter what kind of day I've had.
This is getting scary. I like
when I
it.
put on that uniform.
I mean, the stuttering is kind of.
Behind the back passes.
I'm not a huge fan of the stuttering.
Slam dunks.
I mean, but that's what jiggling is. But I am really liking the deconstruction. I mean, the breaking down, the degradation of the imagery.
If you hadn't had the greatest,
I mean, the way.
put on a show and do whatever it takes to satisfy your customer.
Oh boy. Yeah, the way his face is kind of falling apart. That's pretty interesting.
We all must give our customers.
Wow.
And it would take you behind the scenes to show you how your video is actually made. So let's see what it means to satisfy your customers by doing whatever it takes.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Especially right at the end there. So I'm pleased with that outcome. Wow, that was weird. Yeah, the stuttering isn't amazing, but just like the way, like where it goes with some of those that's really good. Oh boy, yeah, I'm gonna play some more with this. Let's see what else we can do. So that was just mjiggle with no other parameters or anything. Let's see what else we can try. I don't know what does kill. I don't know what kill means. Let's try options here, and let me look at the script source again to see what. Maybe I can figure out what this is doing. Max frame size to kill while cleaning. Like I don't know what cleaning. I don't know what it means by cleaning. So let's see. Let's see where it's using that. I don't. Clean the list by killing big frames. I don't know which list, and I don't know what it means by big frames. Let's just try it. So it says the default is 0.7, and it's supposed to be a float. So that means a decimal number. And the default is 0.7. I mean, that sort of suggests it could be expecting this to be a number between 0 and 1, right? So like 0.7 would be like the equivalent of 70%. I don't know. Let's try changing that, and this by trial and error, maybe we can figure out what it actually does. So let's just do K and then make it 0. So this might do nothing. Like this might actually take away whatever killing is doing. Oh wait, yeah, it actually killed most of the video. So so we went from 2,000 something frames to 2 frames. So that's good to know. I'm not even going to look at that file because that's I guess I could, but I'm pretty sure that well, I don't know. Let's try it just for completeness sake. Let's try it. It probably won't open at all. But if it does, perhaps we'll learn some things. Yeah, there it goes. It just ends. There's one, yeah, there's just one. That's it. It just goes on and off. So, okay, that I guess just deleted a bunch of files, so frames in the video. So that's not what we want. Let's do the opposite. Let's make it 1.0. And this might have the opposite effect of essentially doing nothing. So this might just recreate the original video essentially. So let's see, 2,249. I'm gonna write that number down and kind of compare. So that's 2249. That might give us some clues about what happens with it. So let's see, 2249. And this is what it looks like. It says to prepare the download every time. I wonder if there's a way to make that faster. And again, it would be great if I could just display this inline in the browser so I didn't have to go through this whole download open process.
Doing whatever it takes. Now you're probably wondering, what does Michael Jordan know about satisfying the customer?
Let's see.
Well, let me tell you. When I step onto the basketball court, those 18,000
yeah, I think he's just talking.
people aren't.
I think it's just normal. I don't see any evidence of glitching at all.
They want to see more than just a...
So that's good to know too. So that gives us a better sense of it in terms of what's actually happening. I wonder if because really when I had it on the originally where I guess that K value is 0.7 because that's the default, it didn't do a whole lot. So I mean, it did a little bit, but not a whole lot. I wonder if by big frames, I wonder if he means iframes. I mean, I wonder if that's the same thing. So let's try halfway between. Let's see what happens if we make this 0.5. And run that here. So it's still making this file intro void.avi over and over again. So I do have to keep downloading it. It would be nice to display it, but you know, it's not too bad.
Doing whatever it takes. Now you're probably wondering, what does Michael Jordan know about satisfying customers expect behind the back passes, long three-pointers?
What's going on? Whoop, that was something.
It's my job to deliver it.
So maybe it's just like a chance of dropping. Like certain iframes can get dropped and others
more than just quick service with a smile.
I'm gonna turn that audio down. I don't know if you can even. Whoa, that's a good one. You see that? So this is this is I've heard this called pixel sticking, where there's like one array of pixels that is supposed to be replaced by another set of pixels, and then that second set is what you're supposed to, are the pixels that are supposed to move. But if you take away that replacement, that's what an iframe is doing, then the previous imagery starts moving the way the next scene was supposed to, and scene transitions like that are good opportunities for these kinds of things to show up. So that was a good one. I like that. Let's try that again just to kind of see that. You know, and I think this must just be dropping, like randomly picking iframes to drop, maybe. So let's see if I can get back to that moment. So what would normally happen here is like it's this B-roll of him playing basketball, and then right here, normally it would just be an iframe where it cuts back to the shot of Michael Jordan talking. The way that video encoding works is that it tries to save memory by not storing data about every pixel for every frame. At least in this using, I think this is using the H.264 codec. It leaves that out. So it without that reset, it just sort of takes that canvas and keeps moving it, but moving it in a way that is expecting different pixels to be there or different colors to be there. And so we get this effect of him kind of emerging from the crowd, and so we can see kind of the crowd and the players moving like the way his body moves. So you can kind of see his shoulders here now, but they have legs on them still, and I love it. It's kind of like painterly, like the look of it. It looks really interesting at specific moments. So you can kind of, one way to produce art this way would be just to freeze a frame you like and then take a screenshot of it. And you really should. I mean, if you try to export a frame from something like this, you're going to get unreliable results. So really taking a screenshot is the best way to bake in a version of something. Okay, so that's the iframe removal, basically. But it's kind of random. I wish you could be more specific. Like like with AviDemux, the thing I really like about AviDemux is you can go in and pick an iframe to drop, and then sometimes doing that strategically will have different outcomes, and you can have a lot more control over it. And I don't know if you can do that with Tomato Pie or not. Maybe. Yeah, I think I need to spend a little bit more time with the code here and try to understand what is actually happening. I don't know. No, I would have to know. I'd have to find out which frame that is too. Like I'd have to, I guess one thing I could do is I could actually just use AviDemux, because AviDemux, even though it doesn't glitch anymore, it does let you it gives you a playhead where you can move forward and backward, and you can actually pick out frames, and it tells you if this is an iframe or a P frame or a B frame. A B frame just copies whatever happened. I think a B frame just repeats whatever just happened in terms of the metadata. So yeah, AviDemux might actually still be useful, even if I can't actually break GIFs with it anymore. So I'll research that and see what I can figure out. But I'm having fun with Tomato Pie as it is. So let's see some other options. I haven't tried Bloom yet on Michael Jordan. Yeah, I don't really care for the. I don't care about the audio either way. Let's try Pulse. I don't really know what that means. Let's try. So we'll just do. Let's keep K on 0.5 because I like that, and let's do M. I think we can probably do both of these. So we'll do M Pulse. Let's see what we got. And it made this file intropulse.avi. Okay. Download it.
Now you're probably wondering, what does Michael Jordan know about satisfying the customer?
Okay, nothing happening yet.
When I step onto the basketball court, those 18,000
Space is starting to fall apart a little bit.
fans, they are my customers. They want to see more than just a basketball game. They expect to see a show.
You know, maybe there's other options I need to specify for pulse. Like maybe, because this looks the same as it did before in the last version. Let's see, let me check the documentation. What? Oh, okay, yeah, so you do need to do the same. You need to see, C means how many frames to duplicate, and then N is how many like frames to skip. So like I have what, like 2,000 frames here, so I could say for example, I could say every 50 frames duplicate a set of 10 frames. Duplicate whatever 50th frame that is 10 times. So yeah, you could probably, yeah, let me try that. So impulse, and we're gonna do, I actually don't know what the frame rate is on this file, but let's just do 25 copies every every 60 frames. I don't know. Actually, I can figure out what the frame rate is. Okay, well, let's just do every 30 frames. I don't know. Let's see what this does. Oh, it's much larger. Okay, interesting. I guess that should be expected. So it went from, what was it before? 2,000 to 66,000 frames. Did I just download this? I don't remember. So this could be a much longer file or something else.
What does Michael Jordan know about satisfying the customer? Well,
It's the same.
It's my job.
Maybe I didn't. No, I think it's. Hang on. Where did it go? Oh, it's pulse, this one, right? I was looking at void again, so it's intro pulse. Yeah, wrong one. Oh yeah, look how long it's taking to download. You know what? I'm not gonna wait that long. Okay, right. So let's try these settings. Let's try a different. Oh, you know what I did? I did C and C, so it probably is doing both of those, and so that's why. Okay, so let's do. Let's try this again with the actual correct settings, and 55,000 is still enormous. So let's not do that. Let's try setting, instead of every 30, let's do every 400 frames. If I understand what this is doing, let's see. If it's a higher number, there should be fewer. No, that's the same number. Well, maybe that's worth checking. Let's see. So yeah, again, I really like how Tomato Pie will give you file names based on your parameters, which is super helpful. So thank you, Casper, for doing it that way. Again, it's just made an enormous file, I think, and I don't want to wait for that. So let me see if I'm misunderstanding. So pulse, duplicate groups of CP frames every N frames. So C5 in 10 is his example. Let's do that. Let's do C5 in 400 again. So 11,000 frames, which is smaller but still very large. You know, obviously, if I started with a shorter file, that I would probably have a slightly better time as far as these kinds of processes. I could get away with processes that quadrupled the file size or more than that, because it would not be as huge to begin with. And I mean, this isn't a huge file. I think it's like 4 megabytes. But whatever that did seems to have actually worked. So let's open it up, see what we got. Do we have something? All right, so I can't tell if the stuttering is because it's having like the memory is like running out, like it's having a hard time loading these files, or if that's actually what if the pulse effect created the stutter. Yeah, I mean, it looks like the playhead is kind of moving inconsistently. So I think, in fact, there's something weird about the file. Like I think it's somehow struggling to render however many frames it is that I've asked it to do. You may even see that this may be even glitching the stream if it's taking up processing. Yeah, so interestingly, I don't know if you can tell on my player here, Celluloid, it's still playing even though it got to the end of the file. So it's at 1.5 minutes out of 1 minute 15 seconds. So there's clearly something amiss with the container. I wonder what if I, oops. Oh, you know what? That was that was the earlier one, I think, because I think it finally downloaded. Let me, maybe not, wait, which one was that? Make sure I'm actually displaying the right one. Yeah, so this is C5 N400. Yeah, okay, so I wonder if I can actually send this back to Cloud Convert to see if it'll fix that issue. Sometimes it will. Where is this file? I don't know where that file, I put this file. I downloaded it, but I can't find it now. So I will re-download it and see what happens. Well, I still have 2 viewers, so thanks for viewing, whoever you are. Cool. Okay, so let's see how this looks, and then I'll keep trying. I mean, I'm having fun, so I'm going to keep going. I usually wrap these up after about an hour, which is what I'm approaching, but I'm going to keep going until. Okay, so it's 25 megabytes. That's going to be pretty big to upload here, but you know, it's just a process of see what happens, right? So I will put it here, and I'm going to say convert it. Let's see if I convert it back to an MP4. Sometimes that kind of just fixes the container issues that have been introduced by the glitch process. But sometimes it fixes it in a way that like de-glitches it. So we shall see what happens. All right, while that's processing, let's see what other options we can try. Overlap, what does that do? Shuffle? I don't know what that would look like on a video this long, but of course I'm going to try it. Let's do that while the download is getting ready on Cloud Convert. Yeah, still going. Let's try to shuffle it. I'm going to leave this line here and make a new one so that I can try this one again with some variations, because I feel like I'm not quite getting to the bottom of the pulse option yet. So, what was it, shuffle? Is that right? Or is it random? Is it shuffle or random? Random, okay, yeah. Like he used the word shuffle to describe what random does. I couldn't remember if it was that or the other way around. So let's see. Nope, I did it wrong. Interestingly, it actually ran. It just did nothing. It just produced an empty file. So that's interesting. But let me try random. This is probably going to look like garbage. You know, there's good kinds of garbage and there are garbage kinds of garbage. And this could be Could be the latter. So let's find out. And let's see, do I have celluloid opening? Yeah. Yes, this is garbage. I mean, each individual frame kind of looks cool, but as like a broken GIF kind of thing. Oh, it's actually playing audio. What is the audio going to sound like? I don't know if you can hear that on the stream, but wow. I mean, the audio is more interesting than the video. But the video the video produces these nice, frames like this. This is a really good one. But as far as in terms of broken GIF kind of glitch stuff, I prefer to make the kind that have some kind of semblance of familiarity, and then that, like, right as soon as you're understanding what you're seeing, then it becomes something else, and that moment is what you're trying to play with as a broken GIF artist if you're doing these things. At least that's what I try to do. So this is not going to give me that, but pretty cool effect. All right, so let's try. I think I'm about ready to try the bloom effects as well. Oh yeah, no, we're going to see how this is doing. Oh, it actually worked. And interestingly, Cloud Convert will let me preview it here, which is great because that prevents me from having to download it. And you can see it's just sort of chaos. It is just really slow, I think. And that movement that I was saying before is the actual speed of it. So not amazing. I mean, this is, it's not terrible either, but it's just like not my favorite, I guess. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to try the bloom effect. Wait, that's just the term that the programmer here, Casper, is used for p-frame duplication, which is that gives you that streaking or blurring effect, or kind of the imploding look. So this is like, I'll see if I can find an example on the Broken GIFs subreddit, because there's a couple of classic, I guess, broken GIFs that you'll see people repost sometimes, or just kind of refer to, and they use the technique that Casper's called blooming. I've never heard it called that before, but I guess that is fine. Let's see if I can find one. That's kind of what that one is. But yeah, La Brioche, this one's definitely, this is the bloom effect. So it's not blooming, like it's not like a flower, but it's like what happens is a motion vector continues over and over and over and over again, and it eventually sort of runs out of pixel imagery to work with, and then it starts making more, just kind of making these interesting colors emerge, basically. And I'm still really interested in trying to recreate this method, and I've not been successful yet, but that's kind of, maybe that's my next video. But I really love the way that these look, and I wish I understood how to do it. I mean, I do kind of understand. I actually asked the guy who makes this, and he was kind of vague about it, but I think I understand what he's saying. But it was kind of like, I don't want to tell you because I don't want you to copy my style. And I'm like, I don't want to copy your style. I just want to understand how you do it. Anyway, that's his prerogative, I guess. So let's try the bloom effect. But before I do that, I want to actually make a much shorter version of the video file, so that it is, and I'll let that play while I'm doing some things in my terminal here. I'm going to make a much shorter version so that the bloom effect is a bit easier to see without having to kind of process forever. So I'm going to make like a GIF of like the first 6 seconds of Michael Jordan talking, and then you can do conversions at the terminal, obviously, but I'm trying to do as much as I can in the browser. So what I just did there is I just ran an ffmpeg command to slice out the first 6 seconds of that talking, and I'm going to go now to my folder, find it. It's an MP4, and I'm going to convert it to an AVI to make it easier to glitch. And this should just take a couple seconds. There we go. And then I'm going to put, not that one, this one. I've got a lot of files here now. I should probably make some folders to organize this. So let's get that file I just downloaded and, wait, where did I put it? I have this problem, I can't find things on this computer. I literally just downloaded this, didn't I? Or did I not click all of the things I was supposed to click? Short.avi, download. Oh, I accidentally hit open. That's right. Okay, so that's not what I meant. So let me download, save it. See what I got. Okay, so let's upload it back to Fresh Tomato. We are finally getting garden tomatoes, by the way. I don't know. I mean, just the name of this is, the script is tomato pie, but it's tomato season, right? I mean, we got these yellow ones that I don't know why they taste like pizza sauce, like they taste like salty somehow, and they're really good. There's these little like that big, I don't remember what they're called, but we have some bigger ones that are just now starting to ripen. We were a little late planting them, so they're just now starting, and they look pretty good. I went through and did a lot of pruning yesterday, and I'm very excited to see the results over the next few days. So I'll let you know how it goes. All right, so I uploaded introshort.avi, and so I'm going to try this. So notice I need to change the file name that I'm referencing, so it's introshort.avi. We're going to do mbloom. Actually, no, we'll just do a basic one, so this will give us the number of frames. So it's 182 frames, 6 seconds for 182 frames. That's what, 30 frames a second? Is that right? Am I doing math right? That's surprising, actually, but let's take a look at what happens if we bloom it. So we're gonna do -m for to set the mode, and we'll set the mode to bloom. And let's do, gotta look at the documentation again. Make sure I get this right. So we want to bloom, let's say, let's just do this. Let's do the 50th, let's do the 100th frame 50 times. We'll just copy this parameter set here. And that should be fine, probably. Okay, so this also should be quite a bit shorter, so it should be something we can look at. So 232 frames now, so it's not enormous, so we're not seeing the same thing that happened with Pulse. I guess Pulse is basically doing the bloom effect like over and over and over again. Oop. What? That didn't work. Huh, okay, so the file is not working, so something's happening to it. It just is, yeah, it just starts and then stops. So something went wrong with the process there. Okay, let me just make sure that this file works by just running it with void again. I mean, not again, but for the first time. So this should create this file, enter short void, yeah. Let me just make sure this works. Again, I really wish I could display these in the browser so I didn't have to go through this process every time. Okay, so it's a very small video file. It's only 56 kilobytes. I don't know what that suggests, but yeah, it's basically doing nothing. So it's only like a 1 second video file. So something's up with it. Yeah, and I think, right, I remember now. So I remember when I did this before, there's something about that area of the data that it won't actually grab hold of for some reason. So when I tried to make a video of the first, I just tried to slice this first minute from this 30-minute video, it wouldn't get the first 5 or 6 seconds. So what I just tried now, I tried to grab the first 5 or 6 seconds, which my experience has reminded me is actually not available for some reason. So it actually only got 1 second of those. So let me change my settings here, and I'm gonna get just a different point of him talking, because really the point is just to get a moment where Michael Jordan is talking. So I'm gonna go 30 seconds in and get 6 seconds of a clip from that. go through my whole conversion process again. And then I'll probably wrap it up because it's about lunchtime and I'm getting hungry. So this is this one. Convert to AVI. But I still have 2 viewers. That's amazing. So one of them is probably me watching it, I think, because I have the preview. I have it set up here, so I don't know. But if someone's actually paying attention to me talking, then hello, thanks for watching. Okay, so that's that. And I'm going to try to upload it. New version of intro shorts. And oh well, it's intro short. Hang on, let me get rid of the other one that was no good. And I'll rename this one if it'll let me type. Can I please type? Oh, there we go. Introshort.avi. Why did it jump around? Okay, so then let me run void on it, and that should just give us a good preview of it. So 182 frames. So yeah, I guess it's 30 frames a second or something like that. And that made this file introshort void. Download it. Let's see what we got. Oh, it's basketball. I wanted to get a moment where he was talking, not a moment where he's playing basketball. I mean, that should be interesting too, but the blooming effect will look better if it's like focused on his face, I think. So let's try that again. I should actually I could look at it before uploading it. So let's double check this time. There's intro. Okay, good. So this is him talking. That's what I wanted. And then it goes to basketball, so okay. But this should be better. Let's try it. Do the whole thing again, which I'm sure you're tired of seeing me click on things and upload them, but surely we're almost done here. I think so far, going back, my favorite one so far was the iframe dropping version. Oh, I just lost a viewer. So that's all right. So let's download this one. And again, I'm almost done here. So I really want to try this. Okay, so let's delete this one. Let's upload this one. So many steps here. I'm hoping I'm not just blanking on one as I do this. Try it again. Just so this should just make intro short void. So yeah, just some very minimal iframe pixel sticking there. So nothing major. Let's try it with. Let's try the bloom. So we have 180 frames. Let's try, what was this? C50, no, C50 in 100, is that right? Yeah. Now this is where, trial and error might lead me to find a better P-frame to duplicate, but let's see if this is any good. So intro short bloom. Wait. Oh, I forgot to add the bloom mode. It might have done something interesting anyway, but let's just try. Let's do it the way I meant, and then this will be my last demo, and then I'll see. I'll wrap it up. And also, I'll put together like a standalone video of this whole process because it turns out to be pretty doable. At least I think so. So what do we got? Wait, was that it? That wasn't interesting. That was nothing. What the heck just happened? Let's try this again. Make sure I'm looking at the right one. There's the so you see it stick right there. That's where it should be blooming, but I think maybe it just grabbed a B frame instead of a P frame. Interesting. And this is where, you know, it would be nice to try to zoom in on this a little bit more, but let's just pick a different number here maybe. And hope we get a P frame. Like when you look at a file like this in an editor that shows you what kind of frame you're looking at, you'll see that like almost like every other frame is a P frame sometimes. So maybe it's just a matter of trying again until we get it. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know, it's just stuck. Yeah, I don't know. That's not great. That's not amazing. It's not much. Or what was that the right? Hang on. That was the same. I just looked at the same file again. That's the problem. I've got too many files here. I mean, there may be other problems, but that is what just happened there. No, it's still not interesting. Huh. Yeah, it's still just not doing anything. All right, let's just do one more. Sorry, I keep saying one more and then I do more. And then I seriously will, you know what actually I will do is I will try this on my, on my computer without the whole collab part and see if I can get a better result just out of curiosity. I'm not getting anything out of this. I don't know why. Well, trial and error, right? I mean, I don't even feel like it duplicated. Well, yeah, it added the right number of frames. I don't know. What if we just go a little bit higher? Let's do something right near the end. And like really seriously, last one I'm gonna try. Yeah, there it is. It sticks, but it doesn't bloom. So I don't know. That's weird. So let me try that with the same settings just on my local computer here, just with my terminal, and see if maybe it does something else. Because I do wonder, right? Okay. I have to move some files around so I can actually run that. What was that called? Oh, yeah. Okay, so Python 3 tomato pie intro short .avi. Okay, so it's working there. Let's do mode bloom C50 in 100. And let me get celluloid to open that. What? Even worse. Okay. I don't know what's happening. I think there's just some issue with the metadata. How is that even worse? Okay. I wonder what did intro short void give me on this one? I wonder. also messed up. Yeah, I don't know. It could just be something odd about this particular video, as you know, sometimes that's the case. Well, I will wrap it up. Thank you for watching, whoever is still watching. I'm going to archive this on YouTube, of course, and I think I will... I hesitate to say this because it took me forever to do the last videos, but I would like to put together a standalone video about how to do this and put that on YouTube as well. So just got to figure out the thing I have to figure out is like, how do I do these videos and not take forever to do them? And it's a struggle because I want to make these good, and so I spend a lot of time editing and planning. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you find this stuff helpful, by the way, let me know. I mean, I'm putting a lot of work into those videos, especially on YouTube, so it would be great to hear if anyone finds them useful. If not, it's all right too. I mean, I enjoy making them. It's just it's a lot of time. So, yeah, let me know. And thanks for watching this stream today. Hope you're doing well, whoever you are. And yeah, I'll see you later. I'll be streaming again next week, and next week we'll be mostly looking at stuff in P5.js. So it'll be an interesting gear shift moment for me because I don't do a lot with JavaScript, but it should be fun. Okay, see you later. Have a good weekend.